To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Remember that. Alright guys, what is up? This is Ben Johnston, the Psychedelic Meathead, and I am once again in a forest on my own because this is where I feel most at peace, to be honest with you. Right, so with that statement I just said, just talk about that for a bit, because we do live in this strange world where to be yourself, to be different, to be unique is not kind of accepted in mainstream society. But why? Why are we like that? You know, it's like the few control the many, as we always say. But I always go against that. You know, I'm constantly told that I'm different, I'm strange, I'm weird. But I always take that as a compliment, because I think it's a good thing to be yourself. The most important thing is to be yourself and have original thoughts. For an example, something what people do all around the world, it's very, very popular. Very popular. It's been used for thousands of years. Is the simple practice of eating stinger nettles. Stinger nettles are very good. They're full of vitamins. They're full of vitamins for your hair as well. There's so many benefits from eating stinger nettles. I made a video for my Instagram recently. It was more of a funny video, but the funny thing was how everyone thought it was hilarious that I was eating stinger nettles. When I mentioned to them about stinger nettles having health benefits, they're gonna pull this weird face and they're like, "What, really? Really?" No, I don't think so. I'd rather go eat a Big Mac. And this is the issue we have in society, like today, is we're so far away from nature. It's unbelievable and it's incredibly scary that we would rather go and eat fast food than to put us something healthy into our body, something that's going to fuel ourselves, give us a bit more nutrition. So it is hard to be yourself in this kind of world where I could go on a certain part of the world and they would do this every single day. It's just a simple practice. Same thing with meditation. So I can I'll talk from my experiences. I talk from my own personal experiences, okay? So I can be out in a park somewhere, in a forest somewhere, and I can start to meditate. Someone will walk past and laugh, get their phone out and start filming and thinking I'm crazy for meditation, where it's perfectly acceptable to go out on a Friday night, a Saturday night, get absolutely wasted, puke up in the middle of the street and pass out, make a complete and utter tit of yourself. But that's not frowned upon. That's looked at as just life, and that's what people should do when they finish their 9-to-5 job at the weekend and live for the weekend and get absolutely wasted. So we do live in this weird kind of place, but don't let that deter you from the goal which is at hand. The most important thing is to always do what you feel inside of your mind and inside of your heart. Don't listen to others. Ignore people. I don't mean ignore everyone, but if everyone around you is bringing negativity and constantly taking the piss out of the way how you're trying to live your life, then yeah, fucking ignore them. Because what is most important to you isn't going to be important to them, and you always have to remember that. It's the same as dreams. If you have a dream and people are always laughing and always putting you down about it, like, ignore them. They're naysayers. Haters will hate and lovers will love, and unfortunately sometimes the haters can turn into the people who we are closest to. Sometimes a hater can be someone who you're even married to. It could be a family member, it could be a good friend. You know, and as I've mentioned before in previous videos, is that these people are like weeds and you're like a flower who wants to blossom into the most beautiful, strongest version of yourself. But along the way, what happens is weeds kind of get their way around the bottom of the plant and pull it down and suffocate it till it dies. And unfortunately, that's what some people can do in your life. Really, some people burden you with their issues, and also people will tell you that you can't achieve something just because it failed for them, but you are not that person. Now, we can read as much as we want, much motivational quotes, books as we want, watch as many movies, as many documentaries, but we have to go out in the world and experience things for ourselves. Now, if you're going to fail at life, don't look at this as a negative, because with failure will always come great success, because it's about how many times are you willing to be knocked down and pick yourself back up, because that's what life comes down to. Every single person, including yourself, whenever you try and accomplish something, it doesn't always go perfect the first time. You have to fail, because with failure becomes a beautiful lesson. You know, you go back and you reassess the situation, and trust me, I failed at many things and I've also succeeded at many. The only reason why I've succeeded is because I wasn't willing to give up, and that's what you need to do. Also, ask yourself the question, I ask myself this question every single day: what makes me different from the person standing next to me? What makes me unique? If I can walk into a room full of 100 people, how am I going to get noticed? You always have to ask yourself that question. What kind of conversation can you bring to the table? What are you passionate about? Because whatever you're passionate about, if you talk with passion in your voice, people will listen. People will listen to you. Sometimes you need to go out of the circle you are in, especially if you're trying to achieve something and you have people around you who have known you your whole life, and they don't really understand the manifestation of you as a person, as your spiritual growth, because people will always judge you from the character you were 10 years ago. I have this issue with some people sometimes. They still talk about me as if it was 10 years ago and not 10 years in the future, which is now. And yeah, I've grown and I've become a complete and utter different person to who I was back then. A better person, I would like to think. More grounded, a lot more spiritual, and believe it or not, even more lost. And to become lost in life is a beautiful journey. It's a road and a path where everyone should walk down and not have the fear of becoming lost. Like walking through the woods, why stick to the path? Go off the path. Okay, going off the path, yeah, you might get stung by a few stinging nettles, you might be pricked by a few thorn bushes, but you're making your own track, and you can always take the path of least resistance, but that's not going to get you far. It might get you to a destination, but it's going to get you to the same destination every other person's going to be on. Get to your own destination. That's the most important thing. Get lost in yourself, because the only way you can find yourself is to become lost. So wherever you are in the world, just put some shoes on, put a jacket on, put some headphones in, and just walk. Find somewhere peaceful, sit, and be there with your own thoughts. Don't run away from your own thoughts, because we do this. We don't like being on our own. We don't like sitting by ourselves. Like, I fall victim to this many times. You know, you're constantly looking at your phone, looking at your laptop, looking at the TV, all three things at the same time, without having this time to go inwards to yourself. This is why I always, every few months, I like to have a experience with a psychedelic plant, because this makes you go inside yourself. You don't have a choice. You need to do this. Self-understanding and self-research is the most important thing you can do as a human to reach your personal full potential. You know, what is your full potential as becoming the strongest version of yourself? People watching this video right now could have all sorts of issues stacked against them. You know, and even accomplishing something small to somebody else could be a fucking big milestone to you. And that's the most important thing. Don't compare yourself to the person next to you. Compare yourself to the person you see in the mirror. Become a better person than you were yesterday, a better person than you were last year, a better person than you were last month. Always focus on becoming this stronger version of yourself. My advice to people to even start this journey is simply just by meditation. Trust me, meditation is the most beautiful tool you can have. Many people will tell you how they can't meditate, how they can't find peace to switch off. And yeah, I can totally agree with them. It can be very, very tough. So me sitting here saying just meditate, it is not that simple. I understand it's not that simple. So I'm going to try and make a video, maybe not today, maybe I can make this tomorrow or sometime later on in the week. I'm going to come here to the woods. I will bring my tripod with me, or maybe I can get someone to film me, and I will show you guys a form of meditation, what I do every single morning, and this helps me go from being alkaline to being it goes from being acidic to becoming alkaline. Now, when your body is acidic, okay, you can't really produce the right hormones you need to feel happy. Your body doesn't function very good. For an example, while we're in the woods, if you have a acidic flower bed, the flowers won't grow. If you have an alkaline flower bed, they will blossom, the same as you as a person. If you can become more alkaline, you become more switched on, you're more focused, more inward to yourself, more self-aware, and also a much more healthier. Okay guys, this is going to wrap this video up. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.